Asia's richest man celebrated his birthday a bit differently this year. To mark his 60th birthday, Adani Group's chairman Gautam Adani and his family, whose net worth is estimated at $98.1 billion by Forbes, have pledged to donate 60,000 crore rupees or $7.7 billion. The donation will be managed by the Adani Foundation. With this, he joins the ranks of billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Warren Buffett, who have committed large parts of their wealth for philanthropy. Philanthropist Azim Premji said this should set an example that entrepreneurs can try to live Mahatma Gandhi's principle of trusteeship of wealth at the peak of their business success. Indeed, the average age of giving in India is dipping every year and stands at 66 now. In FY21, Premji donated $1.3 billion or Rs 9,713 crore to charity. His foundation has an endowment estimated at $21 billion. The family of HCL Technologies founder Shiv Nadar was the second biggest donor. Adani's pledge is almost half of what Bill Gates and Melinda French Gates donated to their foundation in 2021, while the former couple's total donations are valued at $74.6 billion. Jamsetji Tata, who set up Tata Trusts, is the most generous individual of the last century, with total donations of over $102 billion at current value. Private giving in India stems from four sources: foreign, corporate, retail, and families. CSR, family philanthropy, and retail giving account for approximately 84% of overall private giving, with foreign contributions making up the rest, according to the India Philanthropy Report 2022 by Dasra and Bain and Company. Family philanthropy overall forms about one-third of total private giving and is expected to grow at a robust 13% per year until FY26, driven by increasing wealth and a rise in the number of technology entrepreneurs. Family philanthropy has fewer constraints than other sources, enabling a broader impact on the social sector. These donors have a greater ability to innovate, influence public policy, build institutional capacity, and experiment with new forms of funding. They can also go far beyond grant making, as most funders come with extensive and technical knowledge in their respective fields and have deep networks across functions and industries.
CSR is somewhat regulated in the sense that, I have to give a report, I have to show impact in that near term. Hence, it does not lend itself well to long-term, deep-rooted, sustainable changes. Whereas family philanthropies, if you look at them, they have the freedom to bring about very long-term strategic changes, right? Tata Trust, for example, their core focus is always what is the change we can bring about at scale, which is long-term and has measurable impact, not on a yearly basis, but in decades and in centuries. So I think family philanthropies, definitely they don't go down the drain. First time entrepreneurs come in and they say that I want to pledge 50% of my wealth that I create. And they all think about it in a very structured way. Much like family philanthropies, they devise what is the change theory that they have. Yes, they work through NGOs, but they have a change theory in mind. Many of them, in fact, do it on their own. If you look at Azim Premji Foundation, also, it's the same thing. They are working across, probably 45, 50 districts across the country, where you're building institutions where education can be transformed, whether it is teacher training, whether it is building the, all the co-curriculars that is required, whether it's building the infrastructure, etc. I feel that definitely they are able to do. If you take the examples of foundations that operate at scale, there is definitely impact there. I take the example, go back to Jamshedji example again, because it took years for us to see what they've been able to do for us, right? Whether it is Tata Memorial, all the design institutions, educational institutions.
Of the three major sources of private giving, CSR is the most widely distributed across sectors, while family giving is majorly concentrated in education and healthcare, even as India lags in several other sectors. India also lags on gender equality indicators than on indicators related to health and education. Similarly, funding is concentrated in Tier 1 cities. Adani's donation will be utilized in the areas of healthcare, education and skill development, with a special focus in rural regions. India's ultra-rich could potentially increase their donations by 8 to 13 times if they can match the giving as a percentage of wealth of their UK, Chinese and US counterparts.
Roughly the total philanthropy pie in India, private philanthropy, is about $16 billion. What is given by families is close to $4 to $5 billion. As you think about the huge quantum of wealth which has increased, let's say 5 years out, the full potential or achievable potential would be almost, out of a 50 billion, almost 20 billion. And frankly, CSR will track to the corporate profitability. But family giving, the wealthiest individuals, they can up the giving tremendously. And secondly, they have the intent. But I think that intent now needs to be backed with much bolder, faster giving. Two key aspects of how the giving materializes. One is, what is the duration? Family philanthropy can think in terms of decades. CSR cannot think like that. Retail giving wants to see immediate results, but family giving can get behind causes where the results can come in 5 years.
How the Adani family deploys its donation is also key. While a good number of family philanthropists engage with NGOs through grant making, not all NGOs can absorb scale funding of the sort offered by these families. Gautam Adani has said that 3 expert committees will be formed to formalize strategy and decide allocation of funds, with a plan to add 1 or 2 more focus areas in the coming months. Adani Foundation will have to build the right talent, enhance its institutional capabilities further, and develop strategies to drive changes in the targeted areas.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
क्या हाल?
मत पूछ यार, फिर से स्टॉक्स में फंस गया।
तो स्टॉक्स के साथ बॉन्ड्स, इंश्योरेंस, गोल्ड में बैलेंस कर।
इसमें बहुत तामझाम है।
तुझे 5 पैसा नहीं पता?
अब तो सबको पता है। 5 पैसा है ऑल इन वन अकाउंट। डाउनलोड 5 पैसा नाउ।
अब तो सबको पता है. Investing made easy and rewarding with 5 Paisa. Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.